Hello all, a Knife Tale here, bringing you a knife review of this Spyderco Emphasis. This is Spyderco's budget knife that isn't a budget knife. This is standard Spyderco. It's an 8CR 13 MOV, which nobody likes 8CR 13 MOV. The bare minimum for what I normally buy is 9CR or 440, and this is 420 or 8CR. The edge retention's pretty poor. The toughness isn't great. The corrosion resistance is all right. I have heard some people say that the 8CR has occasionally rusted on them a little bit. I haven't, so I can't speak to that. But I don't like 8CR. It's basically the bottom of the barrel for kind of reputable steels that are named. There is 5CR and 3CR, but don't even waste your time. At the right price, I suppose 8CR can be fine. This is not the right price on this knife, though. So we'll get to that as soon as we get... Oh, by the way, this is G10, full steel liner, actually big full steel backspacer, 8CR 13 MOV on phosphor bronze. As many a Spyderco are. Let's jump into specs real quick and get that out of the way. We have about a 3.5-inch blade to the front of this scale. 8 1/4 overall, and about 4, not quite 7/8 inches. Let's make a quick comparison so we can move along here. Conspirator for the full-size knife, Elementum for the small knife comparison, both from Civivi. Yeah, it's bigger than both. And we'll also do a comparison to our AA batteries for something that anybody, anywhere can do to compare to. Your primary grip is basically AA batteries, and then you have the choil. It's a decent-sized knife. It is. It's not big, but it's full-size, 100%. Not overly thick either. It's thinner than the Conspirator. Oh, with the black knife on that background, that does not work very well, does it? It's a bit thinner than the Conspirator. And for Spyderco's, it's not overly tall. In fact, it's just a tiny bit taller, maybe. It's not as tall as the Conspirator with its flipper tab, which for Spyderco's is progress or impressive, I guess. Let's get the calipers out. Okay. 473 thousandths, so under half an inch, just a little bit. About 120 thousandths on the blade stock, and behind the edge, I have sharpened this knife once, so it might be a little bit thicker than they might come. 19 thousandths. Oh, I'm slipping way down there. What are you doing? Okay, it looks like 14.5 to 15 thousandths behind the edge. I'm guessing new it's going to be around 14. It's full flat grind. Yes, it's set up to be a slicer, like most Spyderco's. It's a good blade geometry, even when they're a little bit thicker. This is not super thick. This is very, very reasonable, very good design on the blade. The rest we'll talk about once we get out of specs. And now, weight. 5.1 ounces. It does feel a little bit heavy. It's not super heavy. It's definitely heavier because of all the stainless steel and the fact that they have a full backspacer of it in here. But I will admit, it does give it this feeling of like solidity and mass, which some people might like. So if you don't mind a little bit of extra weight, it's fine. Also fine is the fact that they did full T8 hardware, even the clip, T8 all around. They're not tooled the deepest, but they're tooled all right, so they're fine. And I like seeing the T8s. Now that we are past that point, let's talk about the blade real fast. We got Spyderco's logo, which is a very inoffensive spider. Like, nobody's going to be arachnophobing away about that. That is not a very spidery spider, but it is a spider. 8 legs and all. Spyderco, 8C-Thar13, and China. The branding's not too bad. Not usually too bad on Spyderco. Let's see, I have a PM2 here. You got your blade steel back on the Ricasso area. This one has a little bit more with some of its maker's logos and everything, but they're not usually too bad. It's mostly just the spider that's actually on the blade itself. Yeah, or in any meaningful way, which is fine. I like that. If you're going to have this flat area, use it to its advantage, right? The blade is alright, but... Well, no. The blade is terrible, but alright. Like, the design of the blade's good. The execution is not. Let's see if we can see this. Yes, do you see how that's reflecting differently? You can see where I was able to hit it with the stone and where I wasn't. Same with up here. Aside from the fact that the tip gets a lot wider. Its bevel is much wider on one side and everything. So there's an issue at the tip and the heel of the blade. And if you really look, it's sort of like... can we see it? It's not coming across great, I don't think, on the camera. But it's like they cut in deeper right there and there. So it's a little bit shallower. Or deeper. Yeah, deeper. Into the blade. And at a much weirder, severe angle. So it lowered the actual edge. So when I went to sharpen this thing, I couldn't hit them. I would have to take off more steel. You will eventually fix it, right? As you take off more steel, it's going to even out. You're going to fix it. But as it is, this is like bashed in, like they hit it on something and it started to push the edge in and roll. It's kind of like that, but without the roll. Up at just the tip and here. I got the rest of the knife sharp. It's 8CR13. It's not holding it great. It's still sharp, but I've went through maybe 10, 15 feet of cardboard with this thing. And yeah, it's lost a lot of its bite. It's lost almost all of its bite, but it's definitely still sharp enough to cut. It is performing all right, but geometry, and hopefully Spyderco at least still has their good heat treat on this thing. That is what they're known for, right? That's what they're supposed to do. It's fine. It's 8CR13 though, so you don't expect too much. Moving on from the blade, which is really just not acceptable, not cool. This is something that, while I said it will fix itself, you really shouldn't have this happening. This is really poorly executed. You got jimping that actually does something. You got a choil that is actually comfortable. Yes, Spyderco knows how to design for the saber grip, and we'll talk about more of that, why I specify the saber grip in ergos in a minute. But moving on from there, you got the G10, which actually I really do like this execution of this G10. I think I like the execution of this G10 almost more than I like it on the PM2. So, fair enough, that's fine. Full steel liners, you do have quite a decent amount of milling in there. You can kind of see it. Yeah, you can see the pockets. Lock bar access is amazing. That's good. I mean, that's a metric ton of it. And it is well designed. When you hold it back here, the fact that it doesn't, you have this cutout that you can fold your index finger in further into, does make it feel good. So that is well executed and well done. There's also a chamfer on this side, which helps. No chamfer on this side, doesn't need to be. I mean, I guess there's a kind of a bit of a rounding chamfer right there, but doesn't really need to be. Full steel backspacer, which was very surprising, but again, it lent to a very solid feel, so I don't mind. The balance is, of course, way back here, though. I mean, like there? It's way back there. That's the full steel stuff going on. You got a lanyard tube, though it's not nearly as bad as this press fit sort of jammed in lanyard tube. This thing was a nightmare to deal with. This one came apart. No problem. Okay, fine with that. If you're going to do it like this, I don't mind it as much. Pocket clip is a wire clip. I don't mind wire clips. Some people hate them. You always feel them, but they're not usually ever uncomfortable. It's kind of what they do. The one thing I don't like is the flat at the end, where it sort of goes down towards the scale. Makes it more pain in the butt in the pocket clip. Pocket clip? Makes the pocket clip pain in the butt in and out of the pocket. That action, though. We'll get in there. Back here, reasonably comfortable. Feel the pocket clip. Up here, pretty comfortable. Feel the pocket clip. Before we get to ergos, let's talk about this pivot real fast. It's on phosphor bronze. The action is not great. It's quite tight. You can, if you dial it in with the right amount of pressure, to be reasonably centered. I think it's still favoring the pocket clip a little bit on that side, but it's reasonably smooth, but it's definitely tight. It's not something that's just going to whip out. Like, PM2 on no problem whatsoever. Heck, even this Benchmade, no problem. In fact, with all pressure off, Benchmade's almost drop shot. Which, that knife is still crazy, but this knife, yeah, without a bit of risk, you're not really getting this thing to go unless you really jam into and push hard. But you can get it, so I'll give them credit where it's due. Where it is not due is the fact that there is almost always play in this thing. And I say almost always because I can get rid of it, but it comes back quickly. Like right there is gone. And I've tried Loctiting this thing twice. It just does not want to stick. It just keeps backing out. I don't know what the heck's going on. Maybe my Loctite... Does Loctite go bad? I mean, it's like a couple years old, but it's been in the bottle. It's not like it's been out and back in or something to set up. I don't know. It still seems alright, but maybe it's my Loctite. I don't know. Just 242 blue Loctite in the red bottle, as that's not confusing enough. I'm going to try one more time, and then I'm just going to say, nope, this thing just needs to be constantly readjusted. Something else that is very strange about this pivot is, and I've noticed this on my PM2 as well, so it's not necessarily a problem or exclusive, but watch. See that? That little bit of movement happens without the engagement of the bearing, or the washers. This is moving on the washers, tighter, but there's just a little bit of play right here. Now, I don't know what that is, why it's like, there's a distinct feel. You can feel it being very loose and very willing to move back and forth here, but as soon as you push it past a certain point, you can feel it starting to move on the with the washers. I don't know what that is. I have several other washer knives that... None of that, right? Even the Benchmade. None of that. I don't know what that is or why it's doing it. The PM2 that I have did do it. The PM2 is a factory screw-up, so that may be an issue. One of the things that it's doing wrong that got it disqualified as a as a regular PM2 with the little notch here. I mean, I would say it's probably just that tiny bit of hint of up and down that it's got. But I don't know. It's not hurting anything. It's just there. I don't know what it's about. But it also doesn't have any lash when closed, so it stops moving when it's closed. So I don't think it's a problem. Just something to note. Just, I don't know. It bothers me a little bit. So yeah, not great execution on the blade. Not wonderful execution on the pivot. This thing has some issues. I will give them credit where it's due. They have an internal stop pin mounted in there. More knives need to do that. Internal stop pins, people. Just little cutouts in the blade, or attach it to the blade and have cutouts in the handle where it rides. That would solve so many issues. I mean, that would exterminate the stop pin behind the edge issue that plagues so many knives. It's just little things. That's what this thing is. It's well designed, not well executed. Or decently designed. There was a big old burr. I'm going to link the unboxing. I found it in the unboxing because I took it apart. There was a big old burr on this lock bar. I don't know if you can see. You can't really see in there, no. But part of the lock bar is a little bit burnt, and there was a big old huge burr on it. It came off, but it was there when I got this knife. Not cool. Not cool. And the final thing, well, all of that adds up to basically this feeling like the quality control of a $20 knife. But this is, MSRP was $94. I think they sold for around $80-ish at full price. They've been discontinued, so they're all discounted right now. You can find them anywhere between $55 and $65, as far as I can tell. Hold on one second. Well, I am back. Took a lot longer for me than it did you. So I lost my train of thought. But I was just saying price. I remember price now. Yeah. This feels like a $50 knife that is executed at the level of a $20 knife. I don't know where they're getting the like 80 some dollars that this thing was originally at. I got this knife on a discount plus a couple extra bucks off for like $40. I'm not completely egregiously angry with that. It'll be a fine, just sort of beater knife, and that's all. It's really not acceptably priced. And yes, it's discontinued. Hopefully they start pricing their more budget-oriented stuff at actual budget prices and better steels. But other than that, this is a big miss from Spyderco. And the final thing I wanted to mention was the ergos. Yes, Spyderco's ergos are always good. You always look at a Spyderco knife and you say, what the heck is going on there? And then you get it in hand, you're like, okay, now this makes sense. Kind of the same here. But at the same time, I don't think they ever actually either fully think it through or fully execute it. Because while, yes, it's comfortable in this position, no doubt about that, and this one, it's only comfortable in this position. You've got the saber grip. I guess you could do a pinch grip, kind of. Yeah, sure, pinch grip, tip work sort of stuff, where it's alright. But as soon as you go into something like the push grip, Spyderco knives are not comfortable. It's the flat scales and the abrupt angles on the on the handles that they almost all have, right? This is not comfortable. This is hotspot central right here for this push grip. You got this area here, you got this area going into my hand. It's just not good. So for a brand that is, you know, celebrated and based around good heat treats and knife users' ergos, I don't know if they really hit the mark on the ergos. Ultimately, even this Benchmade is just more ergonomic. It's got its own issues. It's a little bit plump in the back for like a hammer grip, but it's not uncomfortable. I could definitely use it there. This is just not great. Let me know if that differs for anybody. I don't know. This thing's just not really acceptable. It's really isn't. I don't know what Spyderco is thinking, and I don't know what they're thinking on their budget-oriented line, personally. They're too expensive. They don't have good enough steels. They're executed awfully. I've heard bad things about the Tenacious and all kinds of things. So I can't recommend this, but thankfully it's discontinued, I guess. That's all. So I'm going to end things here. Thanks for watching. I will see you in the next one. Like, subscribe, comment down below, etc., etc., etc. Standard boilerplate stuff. See ya.